Oh joy, another wonderful story about a boss who thinks they're a medical expert. Because clearly, their years of experience in management have given them a PhD in medicine. And they can now diagnose and treat illnesses with the best of them. And if you're lucky, they might even give you a lollipop after your shift. Because that's exactly what you need when you're feeling under the weather, a sugary treat to make all your symptoms go away. And let's not forget the best part. They get to demand a doctor's note because, God forbid, you might be faking it and trying to get out of a day's work. Who wouldn't want to take a day off and relax instead of dragging themselves to work and risking getting everyone else sick? It's not like you have any personal responsibility or anything. So let's get into this crazy story and see just how far this boss is willing to go to prove that they're the ultimate medical authority. Welcome back to Legal Verdict Daily, the channel where we dive into the most ridiculous, infuriating, and sometimes even hilarious stories from the world of law and employment. I'm your host, and today we're going to talk about a story that will make you question the sanity of some bosses and the lengths they'll go to get what they want. So if you're ready to get angry and maybe even laugh a little, then you're in the right place. Be sure to like and subscribe. And let's get into it. The original poster, a 26-year-old male, works in the service industry, which, as we all know, can be a breeding ground for germs and sickness. And our poster hates calling into work, not because he's lazy, but because he hates passing up money, and usually only calls in when he's really sick. One year, he got sick and didn't want to work, so he called in asking for 1 day off because he could hardly breathe or stay awake. And what did his employer do? They told him that he needed a doctor's note, or it would be considered an unexcused absence, and our poster was offended. Because he had been working hard for these people, even when he was sick, and he knew that getting a doctor's note would be a hassle, and would probably cost him more than a day's pay. But he didn't want to deal with the drama and the potential consequences of not having a note. So he decided to take matters into his own hands and visit the doctor and get that note. And that's when things started to get interesting, because the doctor had a few choice words for the employer. And our poster got to enjoy the sweet taste of malicious compliance. So our poster calls in to work and tries to explain his situation, but the boss is having none of it. They're stubborn and refuse to accept his word and demand that he get a doctor's note or else. And our poster is frustrated because he knows that this is just a power play, and the boss is trying to assert their authority and show who's boss. But our poster is not one to back down, and he decides to take it to the next level by visiting the doctor and getting that note. And when he does, the doctor is furious and writes a note that is just perfect. It's like a work of art, a masterpiece of a malicious compliance And our poster gets to enjoy the satisfaction of knowing that he's stuck it to the man and proved a point. And the best part is the boss is left looking like a fool, and our poster gets to bask in the glory of his victory. And it's a beautiful thing to see, because sometimes you just have to take a stand and fight for what's right. And that's exactly what our poster did. Oh, the joy of malicious compliance? It's like a sweet, sweet nectar that our poster gets to drink in and savor and enjoy. And it's all because of the boss' own stubbornness and refusal to listen. And the doctor's note is just the icing on the cake. It's the perfect revenge. And our poster gets to enjoy every minute of it. And the best part is the boss has no idea what's coming. They think they're getting what they want, but really, they're just getting a big ol' serving of humble pie. And it's delicious, and our poster gets to be the one serving it up. And it's just perfect, because sometimes, you just have to take a stand, and fight for what's right, and that's exactly what our poster did, and it's a beautiful thing to see, because in the end, justice is served, and the boss gets what's coming to them, and our poster gets to walk away with a big smile on his face and a sense of satisfaction, and it's all because of the power of malicious compliance. So, let's take a look at what some of the Reddit users had to say about this story. And it's interesting to see the different perspectives and opinions, and one user comments that they're more worried about the other workers who can't afford a doctor's visit, and that's a very valid concern, because we know that not everyone has access to good health insurance or the means to pay for a doctor's visit. And it's a problem that's exacerbated by the fact that many employers don't provide their employees with adequate health benefits or paid sick leave. And another user points out that this is why quarantine laws were necessary during the pandemic, because some employers just don't care about their employees' health and safety. And that's a pretty sad commentary on the state of our society. And it's even more disturbing when you consider that some employers are more concerned about the bottom line than about the well-being of their employees. And it's a problem that requires a fundamental shift in how we think about work and employment and how we treat employees. And it's something that we should all be concerned about. Because in the end, it's not just about the employees, it's about all of us and the kind of society we want to create. So let's dive into the legal aspects of this story and talk about the laws that govern employment and health benefits. And the first thing to note is that the Family and Medical Leave Act, or FMLA, provides certain employees with up to 12 weeks of unpaid leave per year for certain family and medical reasons, including the employee's own serious health condition. And the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA, requires employers to provide reasonable accommodations to employees with disabilities, including those related to health conditions. And it's worth noting that some states and cities have their own laws and regulations regarding paid sick leave and employer provided health benefits, and its complex web of laws and regulations that can be difficult to navigate. But it's an important aspect of employment law because it provides a framework for employees to understand their rights and for employers to understand their obligations. And it's something that we should all be aware of because in the end, it's about creating a fair and just an equitable society where employees are treated with dignity and respect, and where employers are held accountable for their actions. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Legal Verdict Daily. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the section below, and we'll do our best to answer them. And until next time, stay informed, stay vigilant, and always know your rights.